2021. And it's a great day for you because you've decided to take a minute of your time this morning to join us for Show Me the Money workshop. And as you know, this is the part of the midweek production. And I'm so glad to be joined by what will be three phenomenal bankers that's going to help us this morning in understanding where are the money opportunities, not only in our community, but in our region. And I'm so glad, and I'm going to allow my guests to introduce themselves because I think they'll probably do themselves a lot more justice than I will. So won't we start this morning with Sheila Montgomery? Well, Sheila, would you take a little time and introduce yourself to our audience for those that may not know you already?
Good morning, everyone. And let me thank Big Bend Minority Chamber for putting this on. This is kind of exciting to know that we're going to be able to share information that will be beneficial not only to the individual, but also to the community. I am Sheila Montgomery, the President CEO of Famu Federal Credit Union, a credit union that has served the community for over 86 years. Matter of fact, we are the second largest HBCU credit union in the nation. And we're also a Cdfi certified credit union. Our goal has always been to be there for our communities. So I've been in this credit union space for a little over 45 years. And so had the opportunity to really bring some resources to communities that otherwise would not have had those resources. My favorite thing to do is to help people. So while all the accolades could be for awards and all of that, what I always tell people, what I'm most proud of is bringing financial resources to those who need it most. Thank you, Antonio.
Thank you, Sheila. And Jermaine?
Yes, sir. Hi, my name is Jermaine White. I am the business relationship manager for JP Morgan Chase here in the Tallahassee market. I've been in banking here in Tallahassee for about 18 years now. And JP really putting forth an effort to give back to the community. One thing is a $30 billion commitment to advance racial equality. And I think we'll probably cover some of the other topics a little later on. And ever since I've been in banking, my heart and my passion has always been with financial literacy and to help people help themselves do more. Thank you.
Great. And listen, audience, we've got a dynamite panel of individuals that are going to assist us in understanding where and how to show you the money. My name is Antonio Jefferson, and I'll be the facilitator of this workshop for the next few minutes. I'm president of the Big Bend Minority Chamber of Commerce and also a member of the midweek committee. So we're so proud this morning to join our entire community as we bring forth this great information. And so without further ado, since I now have my other guest with us this morning, and we could not have done this without him, Chris, won't you take a moment to introduce yourself and your organization before we get started?
All right. I apologize. I had a little technical issue with apparently my browser didn't want to work well with the platform, so I apologize for that. But thanks, Antonio. My name is Chris Edwards. I am the market president for Mid-South Bank. Mid-South Bank is a relatively new bank to Tallahassee. We've had a loan production office here for a couple years, and we just opened our first branch about 90 days ago on South Monroe, corner of College and South Monroe. Mid-South Bank is a 115-year-old family-owned bank. We've got offices in Florida and Tallahassee, Panama City, Fort Walton Beach, and we're actually headquartered in Dothan, Alabama, so very close in this area. I'm very happy to be here, and I appreciate you guys letting me partake in the conversation today.
Thank you, Chris, this morning. And again, it's an honor to have all of you. And I said it in the intro that we've got a great set of financial institution representatives that I think that are going to do a fantastic job this morning of representing the products and services each one of these facilities serve. So let me start with Sheila Montgomery. And Sheila, before I pose this question to you, I'm going to tell you, do not take the show. You are amazing. I've seen you in the war zone. Okay, that's a joke that Sheila and I understand from last week. But one of the things exciting about Florida A&M University Credit Union in its partnership with the Tallahassee Office of Economic Vitality is that they were recently given one first round of $1 million. And they are anticipating an additional $2 million infusion to create and sustain micro lending in our community. And Sheila, if you would take a moment to explain to our guests what it is the FAMU Credit Union is doing. And I know that I'm doing injustice because you also have another product that's targeted at lending for the minority community. So I want you to take a brief moment and explain the programs that you have within your institution. You're muted.
See, every time I don't do that, y'all need to charge me $5. You'll be rich. But thank you again for allowing us this opportunity to talk about FAMU Federal Credit Union. You know, the microlending program was not a part of our portfolio. When we were able to collaborate with OEV and talk about what we have the capacity to do, it was just a win-win, not only for our credit union, but for the community and for those individuals. So we were able to just think about what would be a low entry barrier. How do we get people into this business lending that have historically not been able to get a piece of the pie? So we did start a program called Smart Steps. And what we did was lower the credit scores so that would have more opportunities. We also lowered the amount. So we have people that apply for like $1,000, and it's okay because sometimes you just need to have a jump start. Our goal is not to put anybody in a loan that they cannot afford. But this loan goes from $1,000 up to $50,000. And we got our infusion for this great opportunity, the first of the year. And I am happy to say that we are $25,000 short of spending that $1 million. So you're talking about within 7 months, we pretty much have loaned out that money to people that did not know they could get a loan to jumpstart their businesses. And let me just say this, and because I know we got a program going longer than now, but we've done just a retail, we've done big rigs, we've done child care centers, we've done contractors, consultants, you name it, it goes across the board. Male, female, we've even done a soccer turf. So we're excited about the diversity of the businesses that have access to capital.
Great, Sheila. Thank you for that, and I do appreciate it. And looks like that Chris has jumped off. I was going to go to him next, but while we take care of that technical difficulty, let me go ahead and go to you, Jermaine. Listen, JP Morgan Chase is doing wonderful things through our entire nation, and you spoke of it a little bit earlier about JP Morgan Chase $30 billion commitment to growing African American, Hispanic, and women-owned businesses throughout our entire nation. But you guys do, I want to talk about the local perspective. Why don't you tell us about what Chase is doing locally, and then number two is I want you to tell our audience where are you located at, and what products and service you think would be specifically great for our area.
Okay. Well, I'll take it kind of from the macro and roll down to the micro. Speaking of the CDFIs, Chase, nationally, invested $100 million into MDIs and CDFIs. So that's one thing we're doing, and that's without Chase having to grow the infrastructure to be able to go out and make changes. That's the fastest way to infuse it, to infuse funds into the community to do those things. Also, if you look at if we're talking about our small businesses, and a lot of our small businesses, the backbone of when you're first starting out, sometimes people look at home equity lines and different things like that. So home ownership, I know we did $80 into home ownership to help Black and Latinx's move towards that. So to kind of bring it down to the micro, my office is, I'm kind of in between office. I have a behind the scenes office, but if you go to any one of the Chase branches and ask for me, they'll give me a call, or I might be in the back room, but I'm in between both branches. But at Chase, most of our business with our business bankers, we like to do it from your office. Like, so when you give me a call, I come out to you, so where you're comfortable, and we just have the conversation. And we do all kind of lending across the board. No company's too big, no company's too small for Chase. And we sit down and we have the conversation to see where you're at and to find out where you're going. And I work as an advocate to make that happen. So if it goes back to our technology, it's like Chase is going in and we're putting in technology that it kind of gives you a one-stop shop, because we know it might be hard to acquire an office manager, acquire all these different parts. So in the technology, you can streamline that. You can be on your job while you're working in your job. So I'm local. I'm around. You can find me on LinkedIn and a lot of hashtags, a bunch of different things that Chase offers. And as far as what we can do from big to small, everything is going to be on the individual case, and we work on making that happen. And I kind of draw into all the different programs that Chase has. I have an SBA partner who's versed in everything SBA because it changes so much. She knows everything about it. And then small business, all the way from startups to about 22 million. I can sit down and we can have those conversations on where your company is, how it stacks nationally, and we can pull the ratios. We can look at your books, and we can talk about everything, like going through, okay, like your all your cash ratio, like liquidity, and we can see, okay, it's here. Okay, let's look at why is it here? How can we move this? How like, is it good? Is it bad? Like, what do we need to do to make everything look great? Change some things here and there. So when you do apply for that loan, or you do want to buy this piece of equipment, everything's in place, because lending is kind of a box. So we just get our numbers in the box and we make things happen from there, in my opinion.
So you mentioned an acronym, and I'm going to ask you to explain it to our audience. What is a CDFI, and how does that help our community?
CDFI is Community Development Financial Institution. So like I said, this is not my space, but how it helps the community is, like, I think companies that are community developed minority companies that are closer to the ground, and they're more grassroots than coming top down through all the bureaucracy. And like I say, this is not my space. I'm probably not the best one to answer this question, but and also like with minority depository institutions, it's like my guess would be like a Famu credit union, and like different things like those type of institutions that are minority led, minority owned, minority grown. Like cases infusing money into those to kind of keep the money in those communities to grow out those communities.
Well, thank you, Jermaine. And so, listen, Chris, I'm going to come to you next. Mid-South is a bank that I believe, I won't say I believe, I know this connected to the community. Your growth has been phenomenal over the last few years. And now having a branch here in Tallahassee with your leadership only makes Tallahassee a better place to live, work, and play. So won't you tell us a little bit about Mid-South Bank and what it is that you do? You're talking about micro lending opportunities, but Mid-South Bank does more than just lending opportunities. You have other products that benefit minority businesses.
Yeah, thanks, Antonio. Yeah, being a community bank, we are trying to be in the community. That's what we always say. If you're going to be a community bank, you better be in the community. We've had the ability here in Tennessee to grow, and the majority of our loans are smaller loans. That's really what we do. We don't have the capacity to corporate bank scale of $20 million. But what we do banking, where take deposits, we back out in the space of money. As far as being able to have certain products or things like that, we do have a dedicated Sba lender, and that's all she does is Sba. We do 7As, we do 504s, we do all the different things, and like the other guys are saying, there's so many different things in the Sba space where we can try to work with that. One of the things that we always try to do is look at an Sba loan and see if there's a way we can do it in-house and find a way to do it in the most effective and cost-effective manner. That's one of the things with Sba is sometimes there are some fees that are a little bit higher, but they're great products if that's the way we need to go. So we try to find ways to, how's the best way to do it? Rather than just looking at it in one aspect, we try to look it around and find out what's the real need of the client rather than just saying, okay, we're going to do this type of product or this type of product. We always try to find out what's the why. What are you trying to accomplish? And then we can go from there and try to figure out the best way to get it done. That's one of the great things about not really having a set product is you have some flexibility to say, okay, this is what we're trying to accomplish. This is what we can do that accomplishes our, that goal. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to have our branch here and put it where we put it is we wanted to be able to serve all the communities. We didn't just want to be in one section of town. We thought, let's put our flag right dead in the middle of Tallahassee, and then we can get to wherever we need to get to service those communities.
Thank you. And so for those that may have just joined us, this is midweek 2021 and welcome this morning. With us this morning, I'll just remind you, Sheila Montgomery, President, CEO of Florida A&M University Credit Union, Jermaine White, who represents JP Morgan Chase Bank and is our community banker. And of course, we have the Chris Edwards from Mid-South Bank. And this morning, we're talking about Show Me the Money. And again, I'm going to ask these guests of mine this morning to talk about relevant issues that involve our community specifically and the challenges we see, because at the end of the day, none of these institutions make money unless they're lending money, unless they're selling services. So I'm going to come back to you, Sheila, and I want to pose this question, and I'm going to try to plug in some relevant questions along the way that may be coming from the community. What I like to ask you is give me, and maybe I'll do this in a round robin, but give me your top two reasons or challenges that you're finding in all of your micro lending programs that are creating denials or delays in your customers receiving loans.
Thank you again. I think that if we looked at it holistically, is small businesses have never been given the opportunity to just come into a financial institution and know how to negotiate. So they're not sure what to ask for. So we've tried to mitigate that by helping them to create a business plan, whether it's 1 page or 100 pages. Write down what you think your business is. And I think that has been probably an eye-opener for a lot of businesses. They have the passion. They really think they understand what they can and want to do, But when you stop and write it down, it helps them to see their vision, and certainly it helps the lender to see what they're trying to accomplish, and we customize it accordingly. So that's the first thing, really having them write it down. The second thing is credit is always or has been one of those barriers. And so trying to work with then the credit parameters they are on that day. What I tell them all the time is, do not take this credit score today to be your lifelong credit score. This is your credit score at this moment, at this time. Let's either work with it so that we can improve it, because one thing we want all of our borrowers to understand is that as you grow, you want to diversify your lending pool. So FAMU Federal Credit Union can be like your starter home. Get the knowledge, get the understanding, understand how your business is going to operate and scale up, if you will. So we can, those are the two challenges that we have. And I'm going to add one more, Antonio, please don't get angry with me. But the other thing is turning in your documents. You've got to have an accountant or someone that understands QuickBooks or someone that understands how you make money. That has been an Achilles heel for many, doing those projections, understanding what kind of money you bring in and what kind of money you're spending out. So those are the three things that we find that we're constantly having to go back and talk to our small businesses about. But at the end of the day, it's a successful model because they do feel like, oh, I get it. And so we're hoping that we can continue this educational piece. I call it financial business consulting, not so much literacy. It's just having the opportunity to sit and talk it out, making sure they understand that we're their partners. We're not a lending agent to them. And so having to just kind of calm the waters, if you will, has been one of those things that has been beneficial to both the credit union and to the borrower.
Thank you, Sheila. Chris, let me come to you next. What are you seeing are the challenges specifically from those opportunities that you've had to lend to women minority-owned businesses in our community? What are two of the challenges that you found in getting businesses across the hurdle from making application to getting a positive decision?
I think Sheila hit the nail on the head with her, with her answer. A lot of times businesses they may not have a true understanding of what they need. They know they need capital. There's a lot of different ways to do it, whether it be lines of credit, term notes, different things like that. And having a good understanding about where the money's going to go and how you're going to make money off of that money. And like Sheila said, having and knowing what your business is, how do you make money, having a business plan. That's something that we work with a lot of our clients with, is understanding truly this is how you make money. And anytime you're borrowing money, how is that going to help you make more money, help you be more efficient? How is that going to work? And then also a lot of times small businesses, they spend so much time doing whatever the business is that they may not have a great understanding or a great, reporting system. And that's something that, a lot of times we have to coach them through and work with our folks on is getting the numbers correct, knowing how much money you really are making, how much is it costing you to make $1? Those kind of things I think is really important, and that's something that we're working with our clients to figure out. A lot of the challenges that we've had over the last 2 years with COVID, that's something that a lot of small businesses are struggling with. We had the PPP loans and some of these other relief loans that have been fantastic, and they've really helped so many businesses. But how are a lot of these businesses going to make money going forward? That's something that we're really trying to work with, and that's something that there's been some challenges of. Okay, you made money before COVID, you've gotten some relief, which has helped you stay afloat during COVID. how are you going to continue to make money going forward with supply chain issues and a lot of the other things that are going on, staffing issues, supply chain issues. We're seeing a lot of that right now. So those are kind of some of the things that we're looking at, and some of the big hurdles that we're running into is, are the documents, the financial documents, correct and accurate? And what's going to happen in the business going forward? Because that's one of the things that we always look at. Again, a bank can get you in trouble faster than anybody by loaning you money that you can't pay back.
Right.
So you got to make sure that there is a way to pay it back. And do you really need the money? And that's something that we really are trying to work with everybody on, to make sure that we're making smart, prudent loans from both sides, not just from the bank's perspective, but from the client's perspective as well.
And I'm glad you said that, Chris, that this is important on both sides of the equation, both for the customer as well as for the bank. The customer wants to have funding available to them, and they want to be successful in their business. But the bank also wants you to be successful, because the only way you can lend more money is by having successful loans in other places. So thank you for that. So I do want to say that Jennifer Young is with us this morning on Facebook, and Chris, she wants to tell you thank you. You and Florida A&M University Credit Union for helping support TC Bank Bakery. I'm sorry for that. And I know Jennifer understands the important value of having community partners and community banking institutions that's right there and that can meet them where they are. So Jermaine, let me come to you next. We had a couple of questions from same individual, Felicia Arnett, and then I'll give you a tee up. But and I believe the question is, when is the last day to apply for the grant? And I think that they're referring more to the Chase program of the commitment. I think that is, and Felicia, I hope I posed your question correctly. If not, you can just hit us up on Facebook and I'll provide clarification. But is there, Jermaine, a grant program that Chase is offering, or grant opportunities that Chase is offering out there for minority-owned businesses?
I heard every third word of what you were saying. I think you're referring to the grant programs that Chase is offering up. I do not have the exact dates on that. Some of those things have been moved around, but you can give out my contact information. I will definitely get who's interested in it.
Okay, beautiful.
That's not
okay.
That falls not.
Thank you for that, Jermaine. So let me see if I can get you to go down the path that both Sheila and Chris has gone. What you being someone that meet businesses where they are, what are you, if they're similar or if they're different, you can advise. But what are you seeing as two of the greatest challenges as you meet these businesses that they have from making an application to getting a positive decision? What are those things that slow them down?
I think the three that were identified are spot on. It's when we're meeting with the customer and they're coming in and they're asking for X amount of dollars, when we're trying to find out, okay, what exactly do you need the funds for? Sometimes we kind of let them know, okay, that's a one-time use, so you may want to look at this product or this solution to what you're trying to do. And then also looking at how their business is set up, and really goes back to having a relationship with the customer when they come in. So we set up that relationship with them, and we kind of learn the ins and outs of the business, and then we can kind of give them advice and guidance on, hey, I think we can do this, we can do that. And it does go back to that business plan. So what exactly are we trying to accomplish in what time frame? And I think Chris spoke to this. So knowing in advance what's coming in the future, we can prepare for it, and we can talk about it. So we can't give them financial advice in saying that you should do X, Y, and Z, but you may want to sit down with your accountant if you're looking to do this in the next 2 years, in the next 3 years. But coming in today, I think our need is this. So I think we should take this path. And also looking at it, there's a bunch of different SBA loans that we can go through, and there's a bunch of different programs we can look at. And at Chase, we kind of put them all in front of you, and we let you choose what best fits you. We just kind of give you the ins and outs on everything going forward. But to answer the question, it's going to be those top three things, like having biggest being your financials, because we're historical based lenders. So we're going to go back and look at how your books are set up. So sometimes to be historically based, we have to prepare for the future with what's coming, even before the customer might actually see it coming. You might not want to do this to, let's say, apply for a loan today, but when we open your business account, let's talk about where you want to be at in the next 5 years. So then, or next 2 years, or even next year. So let's start preparing for that. Let's set up the infrastructure like this, accounts receivable and accounts payable, getting with QuickBooks. Do you have someone who automates, does your financial accounting and different things like that? So that's kind of where we take the conversation. And we started out as trying to build a relationship with everybody who walks through the doors, like on personal and business, because for our small business owners, those things tie together. And your personal credit kind of ties in with your business credit starting it out. So we start from the relationship base and pull all that out. And it's the same as like I said, the three things they already said.
Thank you, Jermaine. And the common theme, I'll see if I can stitch it up here, that I've heard from all of you is, one, know your business, what it is that you're trying to sell. Number two is documentation, because if it's not documented, it didn't happen. And number three is relationship. And I'm gonna jump off here with relationship. And Chris, I'm gonna come to you. I know, and you know, but sometimes business owners don't know. How do I create a relationship with a banker prior to needing a loan? How do I create a relationship with a bank? If I'm a member of your bank or any other bank, how do I get that relationship before I come for an ask?
Well, Jermaine said it very well. When you go in, you're opening your account. Who's the lenders? Who are you talking to? Find a bank that you're comfortable with. Ask your friends. Ask, people that you do business with. If somebody that cuts your hair, ask them, who do you bank with? Try to find other folks that can refer you to community bankers that are here that can help you. Ask your competition. I know, we all compete against each other, but at the same time, we all try to help each other as well. I mean, I know whenever we need something from a vendor as far as a bank, we ask other banks who they use. And then make sure you get to know that person. Somebody that you can build your as your business builds. It's great to have somebody right there with you. And I think everybody has said it. There's certain times where we're going to tell you, hey, that's not a great idea to do that. We don't think that may not be a great idea. You probably need to go talk to your CPA. Having a relationship with somebody that is, a banker, somebody in finance is a great thing to have. If you're in any community organizations, if there's any financial folks in there, have a conversation with them. Just because you don't have a checking account at our bank doesn't mean that we can't have a conversation. So try to find somebody that you're comfortable with. Use your sphere of influence. Use your other folks that are in the same industry as you. Use your vendors. If you've got local vendors, and I would always say, find you somebody local that's here that you can talk to. Whether it's a big bank, small bank, credit union, whatever, having a local contact that knows your business is going to go a long way, because I think Jermaine said it earlier, your lender is your advocate in the bank. They're the ones that take your loan request or your request for a product or service or anything that you need, and we're the ones that take it and move it through the system within the bank to get it worked. Have somebody that that knows your business, that can be your advocate and can say, hey, you know what? we might be, this firm might be small, but you know what? We believe in them, and they're doing the right things, and they're making the right moves, and this is a good quality client that we need to have, and we need to make a loan to this person. So I would just say, find some folks in your community and ask them, and then go in and talk to that person. Set an appointment. We're all looking for business. So, if you set an appointment, if you make a phone call and say, hey, let's get together and talk, I guarantee anybody, any bank in this town, any credit union in this town is going to talk to you. So again, just try to find somebody that within your community that you can have a conversation with.
Thank you, Chris, for that. Ms. Montgomery, tell me about how. Listen, you shared with us early on that Florida A&M University Credit Union is the second oldest credit union in the United States. There's got to be a lot of relationships there and a lot of relationship experience. Tell us how, if I'm not a member of Florida A&M University Credit Union, how do I create and take that first step of building a relationship with the bank? You're muted.
I'm going to make one correction. We're the fourth oldest in the nation and the second largest HBCU credit union, which are both things I'm very, very proud of.
I stand corrected.
But for the most part, I'm really excited about this question because, credit unions are a little different than banks. And FAMU Federal Credit Union is probably more different than banks and credit unions because we only have one branch. We're not on shared service centers. So we are a little unique in that we have to find ways to connect to the borrower. What we do is we have Zoom sessions, and it really gives the small business owner a platform to show their passion for what they do. And during that Zoom session, whether it's 30 minutes, which is the minimum, or an hour, which is the maximum, we give them an opportunity to talk about what they like, what they do, what they're excited about in their business. It gives us an opportunity to talk about the credit union and how wonderful we are and how we're just going to be a partner. Because, of course, credit unions are kind of closed membership. So having someone talk to us, and we figure out how to get them into the credit union as far as being a member. But we feel like the biggest thing that we can do for a business is let them tell us about their businesses. What happens with a piece of paper when you put in the application, it's just words on a sheet of paper. It doesn't exude any enthusiasm. It doesn't really give the tenacity that I am going to make this work regardless. So we'd like to give them that opportunity to talk to us, to tell us what's going on and tell us their challenges and, what they've been through. And so that's our first beginning to our relationship. And then, of course, once we are able to engage in a business activities, then we explain to them the uniqueness of our credit union and all of the services that can go along with it. Because it's not just about a business loan, it's also about financial empowerment for your family. So whether you need money for kids to go to school, you need to buy a new car, you need to do some home improvement. We want them to know that our relationship doesn't stop with a loan. It starts with the loan and it evolves to whatever your financial needs throughout your life, because everybody changes. I'm a baby boomer. I'm really not borrowing any money. I'm saving money. But there are so many people that are in different stages of their lives. And we let them know that we are a financial institution that can be there for all stages of your life and your financial needs. And we try to say that over and over and over again, because we don't believe in being a lending partner. That is not our goal. And so our Zoom sessions have been just phenomenal. We've been excited about them, and so have the small business owner.
Great. And thank you, Sheila. And I'm going to come back to all of you. And I want to set this before I let Jermaine finish up the relationship question is I want to talk about process. What is the process to make application? So Jermaine, let me come to you and pose the same question about relationship. JP Morgan Chase, global brand. So how do little old me in Tallahassee, Florida, have a relationship with a huge banking institution of JP Morgan Chase?
JP Morgan makes it really simple. So when JP Morgan decided to come into this market, they gave a call to a little old banker who was at Regions. I think at one point, I think I was in Chris's office. I was looking at the view. I think I left that office. Great office, great vibes in it, great history. But what you would just give me a call. It's like, yes, it reaches out to global JP Morgan Chase, but it comes all the way back down to me in the position they gave me as not community banker, not this, not that. It's a relationship banker. And it's all about relationships. So it starts as you either walking in the branch and saying, hey, I would like to make an appointment, or downloading the app saying, I would like to make an appointment, going online saying, I would like to make an appointment. And you make an appointment with, it might be a branch banker and say, well, I need to speak to Jermaine, or pick up the phone, call my cell phone, or pick up the phone and call one of the branches, and it routes you directly to me. And we have the conversation. And then no matter how small or how big, I kind of play the quarterback to it. I open the door to the rest of JP Morgan Chase. I do all the hard work. If it's something I've never seen before, because I haven't seen everything, there's somebody in Chase who's done it, and I give them a call. Hey, how do I get this done for this client? Or when it comes to like SBA and all those different things, or government or non-for-profits, I have a partner. That's all they do. They specialize in it. I'm kind of a generalist in everything, and I kind of farm out all the specificities, excuse me on that, of every category that we need to go into, from a cash management partner all the way down to a merchant service partner. We get the right people on the phone through a Zoom session, and we make your dreams come true. We work on it. We work on it together. And I've always been in Tallahassee. I don't plan on leaving Tallahassee.
I think we lost you on the bottom side of that, Jermaine. But I think you done you made your point well.
I apologize.
That's okay. So listen. So I mentioned to you just a second ago about process. How do we get it? Let me start with you, Ms. Montgomery. First of all, I want to clarify a question that came from Felicia. She wanted to know what was the deadline for applying for funds from FAMU. What is the last day to apply for that funding opportunity?
So I'll start with that question. We did have a small grant program we had. It ended actually, I want to say a couple of weeks ago. We were going to give 3 grants to those who put in the application. We had so many applications, we extended it to 5. And so that period has closed. We're going to do another grant round in December. And so we'll put that on our website, and you can apply on the website. We made it pretty easy. We asked people to just give us in 50 words or less how would this small grant help your marketing effort. So we're going to do something like that again in December, because we think that's very important, just to have something that you can jumpstart your business. We're also going to do, and this is my commercial for half a second, we're getting ready to do another loan promotion that's going to start on October the 12th, where we're going to have a $5,000 promotional loan that we're giving out. It's a 5-year loan. The payments are like $100 a month. And all we're asking you to do on that one, again, it's got to have a credit score about 550. But on this particular one, we want you to go to a 3-hour business consulting session. And this is not 3 hours straight. We'll have that spread out over a week or two. So if you miss one, you can go to the one to catch up. But we want to make sure that we are getting all of our small businesses in a position to succeed. This is an unsecured loan, and so there's no collateral involved, but we do want you to participate based on your ability to start promoting your business. This is going to be the holiday season, and this is a good way to do that. And it's going to be about $250,000 we're going to be giving out. Well, let me make sure that we're qualifying people for. We don't give money away. I think someone said it early. We can't give it away. We won't be in business, but we do want to, we will be advertising that pretty soon. So FAMU Federal Credit Union, to be able to come to our portal, just go to our website, and it's FAMUFCU.com. That's FAMUFCU.com, and go to our business loan tab. And you will see we have 3 actually different types of loans, but go to the microloan tab, and that will kind of get you in the portal to have access to several of our loan types. We have a commercial loan as well. That one goes up to about $290,000. So that's a little bit more robust. We're getting ready to sign a contract again with our Black Business Loan Program, which is a statewide program, and you can go borrow up to $250,000 on that. And of course, our microloan program up to $50,000. This special is part of that microloan, but we wanted to find something that would not require a business plan, projections, and all of that. We just want to jumpstart your business. So we're calling this little special our Smart Start Special, just to get you and your businesses prepared for the holiday season so that you can make money during this time. But for the most part, we have 2 wonderful gentlemen that's been in this business for a minute that has really tried to push these loans through for you. So our lag time was horrible when we first started. Let me just confess that. But we've gotten better. We're trying to turn these loans around much faster, but this is a good time to get in. I call it the low-hanging fruit. Start with this $5,000. If not, just go to the other loans that we have. But just go to FAMUFCU.com to access your opportunities for capital.
All right. Thank you, Sheila. Chris, how about you? How do I get into Mid-South process?
Our application really starts with a conversation. We want to sit down, talk to you, find out what do you really need, what's your why, what's the, and then we can kind of start going into some products and things like that. On the business side, what we would need in order to kind of get the process started is your basic financials. It's, your last couple years tax returns, year-to-date financials. It's kind of what we talked about earlier. Because with most small businesses, the owner is a part of the business. I mean, and their financial situation is part of the financial situation of the business. Last couple of years tax returns for the owners, as well as a personal financial statement. Sounds like a lot, but it's something that we can work with you guys and folks on to, help you. If you need a little help filling out the financial statement, we can help you with that. If you've got a CPA or a bookkeeper, a lot of times we work directly with them. Because, if you're a plumber, you're good at being a plumber. You may not be the best at doing your books, but you've got somebody that does that. So we'll work with them to do that. On the consumer side, we've got everything on our website. You can go online. There's applications online. All that information's there. It's bankmidsouth.com is our website. But like I said, a lot of the first step of the process is the conversation. Let's sit down and let's see how we can help, see what's going on, and try to ascertain what the needs are and see what we can do to help.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. So Jermaine, let's go to you. How do I get in this with JP Morgan Chase?
Paperwork wise, everything Mr. Chris says lines up perfect. What we would need to look at being historical based lenders, but you would just go to chase.com and it'll give you, it'll basically take you everywhere you go for personal and business, because you can roll to the business side of it. But we do like to, if we're going to look to do a loan and I want to be your advocate, I would love it if you just come sit down and like, let's have a conversation and kind of plan it out, so we just don't run into something. So that way we can make sure we're applying for the right thing and we have all the paperwork up front and we get everything in right the first time. But it's just as simple as going online. And if you're already a small business customer with Chase, a lot of that you can start right there through the app. But the best is going online or going in the branch and just setting up a meeting and we walk you through it exactly like Mr. Chris said. And we're going to be looking at a lot of the same information.
Okay, great. So here's what I want to pose, and I'm gonna go to audience questions, but I want to plant this because this is the last thing that I need each of you to do. I'm gonna give you 15 seconds to tell our audience after we take questions, what is one myth about your institution that you like to put out today as an untrue and clarify, but you're gonna have 15 seconds to do that. So with that being said, do we have any questions? And viewers, you can post your question on Facebook, and we'll try to get it to our members. And I've got about 5 minutes for questions. 5 minutes for questions. Once finish on time. Any questions? Let's see. No questions? Wow, you guys must have done a phenomenal job here. This is it's awesome. So let's go to the myth question. What let me start with you, Chris. What's one myth about Mid-South Bank that you like to put to bed today?
Well, one of the myths that I think a lot of folks have about smaller community banks is that we don't have the products and services that you need. We've got a very robust online presence. We've got the treasury management, products. We've got the loan products. We've got the stuff, the stuff that 99% of the businesses in this country are going to need. Most of the local folks are going to need it. Part of, some of the bigger banks, some of the bigger companies, we won't be able to do some things for them. But I'm talking about Coke and Home Depot and places like that. But that is something that I think is a misconception, is that a lot of the community banks don't have some of the products and services. And I just want everybody to know we definitely do have a pretty good suite of products and services.
Okay. So how about you, Jermaine?
One of the myths I think I hear a lot, and I'm not going to say Chase in general, but you hear big banks don't care about minorities and different things like that, or Black people or different things like that. And I can speak for Chase on this area. From Mr. Diamond on down, Chase is really all these different programs, communities, and like billions of dollars into communities to try to change that narrative. And it's not saying it; it's by doing it. And also with the people we hire, that Chase is hiring as a firm, Mr. Lamb. Like I say, I think if I'm not mistaken, he's from Tallahassee. He's over global diversity, and everything that they do for employees and down to the people they're bringing in to walk into the community, to be part of the communities, to help the community and bring everything that Chase has to offer to the community. So people might think, well, I don't want to go to the big bank because they can't help me. Yes, our credit unions are great. Our credit unions serve a wonderful purpose. I love all of our credit unions. I love all of our community banks. But in the same breath, I know JP Morgan Chase, we can help you the same way. We're hiring a lot of the same people. We're sitting there and we have all the same programs. And I partner with some of the different credit union bankers on different things that if I can't get it done, hey, can you get this done over here? And it's the same way. If we can't get this done, can you get it done at the bank? And I think that's part of being that relationship banker. So I think it's more of the relationships that the big banks can offer more than just looking at, well, they're too big for me. And we just want to stomp out that myth. And I know Chase is putting their money where their mouth is and really championing the effort of racial equality.
Sorry, I had to get to my unmute button. Sheila, one myth about Florida A&M University Credit Union that you'd like to put to bed.
Oh, we're going to put to bed that FAMU Federal Credit Union don't help minorities. I'm going to put that to bed. Because at the end of the day, you know, we do have to say no. And it's not because we want to. We're just in a position where we have to say no on that day. And so it seems like to some that we may not be interested in helping them to help their business succeed. And that is never the case. Our goal has always been to help small businesses succeed and to sustain. And in order to do that, you have to have standards. And this is in any walk of life. So we want all of our small business to understand that our goal is never to say no. Our goal is to work with you until we can say yes. And if the patience, sometimes I'll tell you a quick story. We had a couple that came in and their credit scores were all in the fives. And we asked them, can you work with us for at least 60 days? Let us help you to get your credit score where it needs to be. And let me tell you how that would work. They were patient enough. They worked with us. We worked with them. And within 60 days, we were able to give them $50,000. So what I'm saying is we do say no, but we also try to come up with a solution. And if all parties are working together, then certainly the resolution is going to be something that's a win-win for all.
Thank you all for your participation today. And I'd like to thank the midweek committee for putting it together. And thank you, Chris. Thank you, Jermaine. Thank you, Ms. Montgomery. I have been tasked with ensuring that I acknowledge our partners. Want to send thank you to the following organizations: the Tallahassee Office of Economic Vitality, the Jim Moran Institute, Leon County Schools, the City of Tallahassee, and I'm going to get this list together: the Blueprint Agency, the Florida State University Supplier Diversity, Inc., TCC to Work, the Tallahassee Community College. Let's see here. And of course, the Big Bend Minority Chamber of Commerce. I'll be remiss if I didn't mention them. The Capital City Chamber of Commerce, the Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce. Wow, I'm telling you, this list of a rock star organization. Leon County Property Appraiser, Talquin Electric, the SBDC at Florida A&M University, the Office of Supply Diversity for the state of Florida, the MGT Consulting, and the Jim Moran Institute for Global Entrepreneurship. And I think I mentioned them once before, but thank you to all of them for this wonderful opportunity for us to show our community where the money is. I've been Antonio Jefferson, your host for this edition of the midweek production, and I hope that all of our audience will join us for all activities midweek. And don't forget, at the end of this week, there'll be a golf tournament hosted by the Big Bend Minority Chamber of Commerce, targeting funding at our Title I schools. Remember, those kids are just as important as any other kids in our community, because as the tide rises, all boats are lifted, and we want to ensure that every student in Leon County schools and through our community has an opportunity to grow and succeed right here in Tallahassee, Leon County. And thank you to the audience, and thank you, my guests, for today.